Player 2 has joined the game.
Hey, yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 326 of the Two Player Co-op Podcast. As always, I'm one of your hosts here, Kevin, along with my singer from the Muna and the Juna brother, Sean.
How we doing?
Fantastic. If this is the first time you're ever seeing, hearing, or listening to us, you're probably pretty confused right now, but this is the Two Player Co-op Podcast, where just about every week, two brothers get together to tell you everything you need to know about in the world of video games. If you like that, make sure you like the video, subscribe, share it with your friends, family, and everyone in betwixt. Also, this podcast.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Episode 420 is going to be
That's got to exist.
What, the podcast?
The podcast. If not, we're going to start it.
We should just go thepodcast.com and just sit on it. Anyways, this podcast is brought to you by Derek Bamford. If you really like us, you can go to patreon.com/twoplayercoop, where we have a lot of different benefits, but the most popular is our $5 producer tier, which allows you to watch us record the podcast live on YouTube. You get a bonus episode every month. The podcast.
Exists.
Yep. Okay. And you get the podcast live one day early if you miss us record it live here on YouTube. Some of our patrons deserve a shout, just like our patron saints, the aforementioned Derek Bamford, the man with the bar named after him, John Tingley. Now our affiliates, who have nothing named after them, but their names are James Solar. Make sure you check out James Games and More on YouTube. Sarah Solar and Mom, who is back from Ireland.
Welcome back. It's lunch.
Safe and sound. She took some Ambien and finally got a good night's sleep last night. Also our producers, Steve Appleton, Aunt Sue, also back from Ireland, Dustin Downs, and Chris Peralta. Also, make sure you check out PS Rewind on YouTube as well. James, when are you going to start uploading that thing that you told me about that you're going to do with a video game series that Sean and I both very much love so much? Let me know. Hold it.
No.
If you like cool t-shirts and the like, you can go to teespring.com/store/2playerco-op.
I want people to think their thing just like froze.
Well, that's why it's fun to do pregnant pauses and stuff too. If they're just on audio and they're like, says it's still going. No, God. I don't have any witty banter. Do you? I've played a lot this week. I do know that.
Witty banter. I don't know. Happy Father's Day. Belated.
Happy Father's Day yesterday.
Fathers out there. All you mothers.
I sold my car today to an Irishman. Oi.
This sounds like the beginning of a joke. I don't know if there's going to be a punchline.
I recorded it. Oh, I thought that was the rest of the story, but that's James.
I sold my car today to an Irishman. Was it
made of potatoes?
Robert De Niro?
Robert De Niro, the Irishman. That's weak. That's the weakest dad joke ever. Was he even the Irishman in that movie?
I don't know. I never saw it.
I don't either.
Potatoes.
I like to sing it. There's not a whole lot of news this week, but it's good that I played a lot, and Sean played a lot, and we all played a lot, and now we will play
A lot.
podcast. So are you good?
I got nothing.
All right, so why don't you talk about your thing first? The rabbit hole that you are falling down, as you knew you would.
So,
is there anything else you played?
No.
Okay.
Did I mention this last week?
Just that you'd started it.
Okay. So I started playing Dark Souls. I have continued playing Dark Souls. I'm to the point now where I could beat it, but I'm also to the point where, even though I said it's nice to play it and not really have any aspirations towards getting the platinum, I've been looking at a guide every so often and making sure I'm doing the right thing, whatever, and then I keep coming across things where it's like, hey, if you want to go get this spell, take this little side path, and if you want to finish this quest line, make sure you talk to this person over here. I'm like, I don't think I want the platinum, but I'd rather do this and then say, I guess I didn't need to do that, than not do it and then be like, now I need to do an entire new playthrough.
It's like owning a gun.
In case I decide to get the playthrough.
You'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it.
Long story short,
You're doing it?
Pretty much fully committed at this point.
I'm committed.
I'm
on the podcast.
To the point where I could go beat the game, but I'm trying to do some... There's already some stuff that I've missed, but...
You're going to have to play through it 3 times anyways, I assume, right?
It's like 2 times. It's like 2 1/4 times.
Like 3 was? Isn't that what 3 was, where you had to just...
Yeah, but
your
I
last one
don't
was
think,
cleaning
unless
up?
there's something that's going to pop up, I don't think there's anything like the annoying stuff in 3 where you have to like farm for all these collectibles. The worst thing
Is there a tendency in this like there was Demon Souls?
No.
Okay.
The worst thing is you have to get all the magic, all the miracles, all the pyromancies, which are basically 3 different magic categories.
I feel like we're going back in time to when you played Dark Souls 3, because I think you said the exact same thing.
And so that's one of those things that seems pretty benign.
However,
But then it's like for one particular spell, it's like you have to do this whole side quest, and then when you finish it, you get that spell. And so it's like you got to do all that work just to get one piece of this trophy. And so it's like there's little things like that I should be fully expecting at this point in these games, where the trophy list by itself doesn't look that bad, but the stuff you have to do to actually get those trophies ends up being worse than you think.
have you looked at
This
what
does
the-
not seem
John
nearly as
Tate,
bad as Dark Souls 3.
Have
I
you
will say
looked at
that.
what like the percentages, like on PSN profiles or on
It said it was
PlayStation
like
itself?
14%, but I don't.
But I do believe it, because like Elden
The people
Ring
that
is-
play those games
exactly
are
they're
yeah.
in it to win it.
So I don't know. I'm not going to get it done before Final Fantasy,
No,
which means I don't know when I'm going to get it done. Because like I said, I can't go back and forth. And by the time I'm ready to dive back in, am I going to remember what I'm even trying to do? So like on my second playthrough now, there's like a few things I'm like, I've got to make sure I do this before I do this. And I've got to make sure I talk to this person here. And I've got to make sure I do this instead of this. And that's where I'm going to get myself screwed if I don't do it in the near future. But I also, this can't happen within a week. So
so you're not.
that being
gonna
said, I've taken Friday off, just like I did for Zelda. I'm taking it off for Final Fantasy. So I've got until Thursday evening to do whatever I can on this game. So
that reminds me, I need.
but
to,
yeah, that's all I've played.
I need to pre-order it still, pre-download it.
Yo también.
I think. Does it wait? What day is today?
Monday.
The 19th. I think it might come out on Thursday,
I think it's like Thursday midnight kind of thing.
which is Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, hang on. Now, if I put in for the wrong day off,
Because
I guess
I
I can
think-
take Thursday off.
I think
too.
the ratings go. I mean, the reviews go up Wednesday, is what people are thinking.
June 22nd.
That's Thursday.
Now what?
But is that right? Games don't ever come out on Thursdays.
Arrives June 22nd. Scheduled for release June 22nd.
Well, I'm going to be driving to pick up my kids from camp that day, so I will not be playing.
I mean, I can start it Thursday. I guess I could work from home Thursday. My boss is out all week. Thursday's the one day where I've actually got stuff going on this week, though. I don't know.
Of
We'll
course.
see.
Well, I didn't play Dark Souls, but I did. So we talked last week about Bat Boy. I ended up beating it, got the platinum.
Did I know that? I don't know if I knew that.
I
I knew. I mean, I should have assumed. I know you were close.
Oh yeah, because when the last time we texted about it, I was going through and just grinding for money to buy all the seeds.
Yeah, that's right.
So I got the platinum in about 9 hours of gameplay time, and then I was like, I don't know what to play now. So I was like, wait a minute, I've got this on PS4 also. So I got platinums 96 and 97, and going through it the second time on PS4, it does not auto pop anything. I got the platinum in 4 hours. I was much better at the game the second time.
Holy crap.
And I didn't buy any of the power-ups and stuff.
So are you going to have Final Fantasy 16 be your 100th platinum?
No, because it's something we'll talk about in the wrap-up. I will not be getting the platinum on that game, as I found out today. But it's such a really, really good old-school action platformer that if you like that, I know Ash was saying that, he got it and he's really liking it. It's awesome. Like, I'm glad it does. I feel bad because I don't know how these indie games, if you're not like, I don't even know, like Bloodstained or like, I don't know how you even rise to the top to actually get people to buy your game no matter how good it is, like
Word
Trigger
of
Witch.
mouth.
I don't know how many, Trigger Witch was awesome. I don't know how many copies they ended up selling of that, but like, it's just I was thinking that I was like, this is such a good game, and I had no idea it was even a thing until Colin mentioned it on Sacred.
But it's been out like a month. It's not like it's been out for years and you never heard of it.
No. Right. Oh, we didn't get a Blasphemous. We got the release date, or they said August. I can't remember. August 24th.
August 20. Yeah.
But it wasn't at any of the showcases.
Ah, crap. That's what I'm.
Oh God, Hollow Knight wasn't there. I just realized that.
Yeah.
Son of a. Well, I'm screwed. I've already lost the draft anyways. But yeah, so after I got the 2 platinums in Bat Boy, I only missed one because I was going through it. I was like, I kind of remember where everything was because I just played through the first time. I only missed 1 seed going through, and I was so mad because I didn't think I missed it. And then I got all the way to the end, and I bought all the seeds, and I was like, all right, why is the trophy not popping? Are you kidding me? Wait a minute, did I miss? Son of a... And I had to go back to like the ice level or something, and then I got it. And it was like the first seed in that level, and I just missed it. But I missed it. I didn't know what to play after that because I was bored. I was like, you know what? This is making me want to play Shovel Knight. I love the game. I was not in the right mindset to play that game. I beat the first level.
You were not in the right mindset to play that game immediately after playing Bat Boy?
Because when you go...
He sounded like Costanza. Because...
I got a lot of problems for you people. No, that was his dad. Anyways. It would be like going and playing Super Mario World for 10 hours and then jumping right into Sonic. It's not the same. Now, obviously, Shovel Knight and Bat Boy are a lot more similar, but the timing, the way gravity affects jumps, the way I kept trying to I would jump and push square thinking I'm going to do the pogo, but you got to jump and hold down. And some of the platforming, it was just because I just wasn't used to it yet, it was pissing me off. And I got to the second level, Plague Knight stage, where you jump. Remember, you jump on the book and it makes the things appear, and you got pogo, and then you pogo on the book a few times. The lava comes out, and then you go boom, boom. And I missed a jump by a millisecond, and then I forget when you die. It's like, here's all your bags of cash, and I'm like, but where they popped, I can't get them back. This is annoying, and I just quit. But just hearing that music and seeing it and everything, I was like, this is the game is fantastic. And it's like Colin was saying on Sacred, if Shovel Knight's not going to make no. If Yacht Club isn't going to make Shovel Knight 2, then people like whoever made Bat Boy are going to do what they do. What were you going to say?
I was just going to say, did you confirm that every time you beat a level, do you get a new ability or something?
Yeah, sorry about that. We just had some technical difficulties. I don't know what the F just happened. It was kind of weird because both our monitors went out. Nothing else went out. And then when they came back on, OBS went... And it wouldn't let me stop recording, stop streaming, anything. So I had to just end the task, and here we are again. So I don't know what the hell that was, but that's fun. It's crazy because we've had crazy storms here lately over the last few days, and I've lost power 2 or 3 times, but it's perfectly fine out. No power of anything else went out, so I don't know. So anyways, I don't know what was the last thing y'all heard, but Shovel Knight, yeah, all I did was beat the first level.
I asked.
Yeah, no. You don't get any because I just beat Black Knight is all I've beaten.
Okay.
And I wasn't in Plague Knight stage. It was in Pridemore Keep, the king.
Gotcha.
The chart, it's awesome. I just wasn't in the right mindset. I would like to go through and beat it again. But yeah, what? Now you're just thinking of the king of town?
Yeah, but you said the chart.
The chart. That's what they call the cheat. The chort.
The chort.
The chort. So that was that. I also did play some more Street Fighter 6. I did the World Tour mode a little bit more. I've heard, because, like I said last week, people have been saying good things about it, yada, yada, yada. It does remind me of what some people were saying is that it's almost like a 3D Final Fight. Third person 3D Final Fight. But instead of just beating people up, whenever you fight people, it's like playing an RPG, and it goes to the battle screen.
Right.
And sometimes you're fighting 4 or 5 people at once. I'm fighting the Mad Gear gang, all these people with cardboard boxes on their head, and I'm fighting 5 people at once, and they're attacking you from both sides. And even though they're low level, it's tough. So I try to jump, get so they're all on one side, and then just throw fire or just do specials so I know nobody's going to hit me from behind. And I've leveled up, and then I met Chun-Li, and she was teaching me her fighting stance. So it was weird to see my avatar and then when I win to be I was just like, I don't like this. I don't like this one bit. I'm going back to Luke style. But it was fun. And then I was like, you know what? Okay, I'm going to go. Because I noticed last time I went on to try to do some ranked fights, like I don't have a ranking yet. And there's like 10 trial matches you do before they put you in bronze, silver, or gold based on how well you do. And I remember last time I did it, I was like 0 for 3 and I just stopped. So I thought I was going to start this out 0 for 3, but I started out 0 for 10. So it's like I had a fresh state. So I was like, okay, cool. Lost the first 4 matches. I was like, I'm not giving up. Not giving up. And I switched back to Ryu, by the way. I like him better than Ken now. So I want a rematch.
Why not Zangief?
I don't know how to do what you do. Then... No, actually, I lost my first 6 matches.
Wow.
And I won the next 4. So I ended up 4 and 6 in my 10 matches. Put me at bronze level, which I assumed it would. Then I did 3 more matches and I won 2 out of 3. So I felt pretty good about myself and then I stopped.
So 8 out of 13?
Not bad.
No, 6 out of 13.
6 out of 13. Almost 50%.
Almost.
That's way better than I do with a KD ratio in Call of Duty. So
it's true.
I'll take it, but Street Fighter 6 is still fun. I really like it, but it is one like now I see why you didn't buy it.
Yeah,
you know, I need to get Nick playing it and Noah as well, playing against me so I can kick their butts and everything. But yeah, so Street Fighter 6 is still good. And then I played what Sean played last week. I didn't know if I should do it, but Sean kept saying how great it was, and I played the Final Fantasy 16 demo.
You skipped one.
I figure I'll say
okay.
We'll save that for last because I messed it up.
All right, so we talked offline.
Yes.
Spoilerific. There will be no spoilers here. But yeah, so what did you think of just the game, the graphics, the gameplay, all that stuff?
Oh my god, this game is freaking awesome. Now, obviously, I haven't played the full game yet. I don't know how the story's going to end up and everything. Like we said, no spoilers. The story is bonkers.
Mm-hmm.
I can already tell. It is by far, I would assume, and I think Jason said this, the most violent Final Fantasy I've ever seen. Was blood ever in Final Fantasy games? Like, did we even see blood in the remake?
If any. From what I gather, from what I could tell just by playing it, and then I'm pretty sure I read something. I don't know if it was true or if it was just somebody else saying the same thing, but it's very Game of Thrones-ish. Like just the setting, the story, the gore, like they're definitely taking it in a different direction.
I love the way it looks. So I started out on fidelity mode, and it was a pretty consistent 30 frames. I was like, this looks really good.
I played on fidelity, yeah.
But then I checked.
And I had no, I mean,
no,
I'm like, if this is 30 frames, like, it still looks pretty good.
Yeah,
like, it didn't
like
bother
Zelda,
me at all.
Yeah. But then I went to performance mode, and I was like, holy, this is like butter. This is awesome, and it still looks great. I did have some hitches. They are doing a day one patch, so hopefully that'll get addressed. But it's so much fun. So the first 2 hours of it are very story heavy. You probably only play it for an hour out of those 2 hours. Maybe not even that much. Well, counting tutorials and stuff and just walking around in that opening thing.
Yeah. Yeah, probably an hour.
There's a lot of story stuff. Final Fantasy Tactics was violent. I had no idea. Interesting. So you're walking around, stuff's happening, there's politics going on and everything. Not decapitations and all, but it did have pixel blood. That's awesome. Yeah, this story's going to be bonkers. I'm not going to spoil anything like I said. It kind of went the way I thought it would, but then it also did not at all go the way I thought it would. You know what I mean.
Yeah.
And then you fast forward till some point later in the game where it's all action. You're doing one story mission, side mission. I don't know what it is, but you're doing this mission where you got to go and you got to clear out this encampment of goblins. I think they were goblins, right? They said what they were. It was some basic.
Yeah.
And there's a few different enemy encounters you have there. And then you get a boss fight. And the boss fight was awesome. Then it ends with a boss fight. How did we get there from the... wait, now I don't even remember what the hell happened. How did we get there from the bog to the final boss?
Oh, I thought you had already gone into, like, the second part of the demo.
What was the first part of the demo? The bog?
The bog.
The bog?
Yeah. I mean, by the time you're finally doing stuff, yeah, you're in the bog. The bog.
Oh, that's before everything goes down, because then you go back.
Yeah.
What was the second part? All I can remember now is the boss.
Of what?
The second part of the demo, when you fight her.
Oh, when you're in that, like, castle thing.
Yeah. That's right. Okay. Anyways, the boss fights are awesome. My two favorite things, I already told Sean this off the air, but and I did edit my controls, so I had... You can't customize your buttons, but there's 3 control types you can choose from. And I went with, I think it was type B, which is R1 attacks, R2 does magic. Also, yeah, I don't see any magic meters.
It's so minimal.
Yeah.
Like, it just, like, chips away at, like, hell. So they're probably like, yeah, do it all you want. It's not going to do much.
But everybody can close on you and everything. So.
Yeah.
But, so... At some points in the battles, just against bosses, I assume it'll prompt you to do a quick time event, but it's really just hitting whatever your dodge button is. For me, it was circle, or your attack button. For me, it was R1. When the boss will do like some big attack and they'll come flying at you and it'll slow down and there'll be a quick little timer to do a quick time event. And it's a cinematic strike or a cinematic dodge. And they're both so friggin' cool. A big part of this, it seems like, is going to be staggering your enemies.
Yeah.
Because you're just like, I'm wailing away, and it's like little damage, but you can see their stagger meters going down way faster. When you get to halfway, it's like their block goes down for a second or two, and you could do some damage, and then you go back to working your way to get the stagger all the way down so that they are staggered, and then you and your party members, if you have party members, then could just go pop, 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 pop. I am so hyped for this game now. I'm so glad that I played Zelda for 140 hours and I got my fill and I can confidently move on now.
Yeah.
Like, I can still sprinkle in Street Fighter here and there. I'll never forget how to play that. But I am so hyped for this game now. I gotta think that the reviews are going to be insane. Like I said, supposedly they drop on Wednesday, I guess. I cannot wait to get my hands on this. I can't wait to see how long it is. If it's like main plus some side missions, because I know I'm not getting the platinum. Is it 40 hours? Is it 80? Like, I don't know, but I am so jazzed for this game.
Yeah. I'm still trying to figure out how, and I don't think it's a spoiler. I'm pretty sure they've said it many times now. The whole, like, it takes place over like three like discrete time periods.
Mm-hmm.
And
you see them all in the demo.
Yeah. And so, like, usually Final Fantasy games, like, either after you beat it or before you beat it, or after you beat it and it just takes you back to right before you beat it, you've got like free roam, go everywhere. Yeah. But if this is over 3 time periods, like, again, I'm thinking about the platinum and stuff. If you missed anything that you have to do when you're in that first time period, you've missed it now? Is there any way to go back in time? I don't think so. I'm still curious to see how that all just plays out, but we'll find out soon enough.
I think it'll score in the low 80s.
Oh, see, I think like 88. I think it's going to be high 80s. Yeah.
I mean, freaking Horizon Forbidden West got an 88, I think, or an 87. I can't imagine this won't be, but again, it's all subjective, so who cares? The other thing I forgot to mention, holy crap, the opening to this game, like the opening cinematic and everything, and then it becomes playable, and then you figure out why as you go through the first part, and it's like, holy, this is awesome. It's man, these icons, these summonses, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Packages.
I still can't do the voice. Yeah, Final Fantasy 16 is freaking awesome. Is there anything I didn't cover? Oh, and Torgal is so freaking cute. Torgal's awesome.
The man.
If they kill Torgal in this, I'm going to be so pissed, but I don't think they will.
I don't think so. I mean, yeah, without getting into spoilers, I think that's pretty much it. But yeah, I can't wait for this game.
Yep. This is one I think I would like to do a spoiler cast on. And then I did play one other game that I forgot to mention. Oh, yeah. Also, be careful because physical copies are out in the wild. Now, Square Enix has said they are shutting every copyright strikes, everything. Like Twitter, YouTube, anything. You post anything from this game early, they're coming after you, and they're coming after you hard. But just FYI, be careful out there. If anybody spoils this for me, I'm going to be pissed.
Yeah.
And then we both played a little game. We need to figure out how to try to play multiplayer on this.
Oh, I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah.
Oh.
You got to just be like, you got to be friends in the game center or something like that. I didn't even know this was a thing until I got an ad on Facebook and I told Sean about it and we both started playing it. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. What's it called?
Splintered Fate.
Splintered Fate. Hot damn. Perfect timing. This game is
multiplayer.
Literally Hades, but Ninja Turtles.
It's awesome. It took a while for me to understand, like...
Did you play it with a controller, I hope?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Like, anytime I have, like, the choice of, like, power-ups, I'm like, I don't really know what any of these things mean. I'm starting to get the hang of it.
I still don't know, like, the different elements and stuff. I got to think, like, this could be the best Ninja Turtles game, other than Shredder's Revenge, obviously, is much better. This game... This could be 2 years in a row. Actually, it might have been 2 years ago. I can't remember. I might have an Apple Arcade game on my top 10 list for the second time.
Yeah.
Because Castlevania Grimoire of Souls made it, or actually it might not have been there. It might have been an honorable mention for me. I can't remember. I didn't get nothing. There I did.
Okay.
Oh, it sent me a text?
It's sent via text. I don't know.
Whatever, I don't care.
Can you do 4 players or is it just 2?
You can do up to 4 players.
Oh, man.
But you got to have people that you know and are your friends. You can't just join random people, I think. But yeah, so Ninja Turtle, it's Hades. It is literally Hades, except with a Ninja Turtle skin.
Yeah.
Now, the one thing, so you start as Leo, you play, you're supposed to die just like in Hades. Then you go back, you figure out what's going on. I like how they're actually weaving in why it makes sense. Like in Hades, it was pretty easy to do. Like it was and that game is so good. But in this, there's a reason everything's happening. I picked Donnie for my second run.
So did I.
Leveled up, got some permanent upgrades, died. Like, okay, now I'm going to be Raph. And what I realized, the only thing I don't like about this compared to Hades, Hades, you were just... what's his face? Zagreus. Whatever you upgrade that is permanent is permanently Zagreus's.
I think the permanent upgrades go across everybody.
I had Donnie up to 196 health and Raph was at 156 or whatever it is.
But I think Donnie has like one of his things is like...
Oh, maybe.
That he has...
That'll make it a lot better because if not... I mean, so far I definitely like Donnie the best. One of his buffs is that he's got more health.
I thought there was something like that. I thought all the permanent upgrades were like across all of them. I don't even know.
Can you go up there and go to stats? No, that's just for the run.
I don't even remember where you go. Is it that?
It's to select turtles, yeah. But I don't think it shows.
Oh no, but I want
the upgrades.
The dragon coin thing.
Yeah, right there. The sword. There it is. What the hell is that? Oh, he comes back?
So I'm at level 4. Let me go change
so now
turtles.
Switch to somebody and go back.
Yeah.
Like the graphics aren't great. This is a game I do wonder if this is going to end up coming to console or PC or something.
I wish it would, like,
because I would like to play this on my 65-inch. I guess I could on Apple TV or something, but
right. Because I've still got 40 dragon coins, but
yeah, it controls really well.
Yeah, still level 4. So yeah, it goes across.
Okay, so it'll go across all. Okay, good. It controls really well. So basically, what you've got, if you're playing on controller, square is your attack, X dashes, triangle is your special move. The way your special moves work in this, you use it, and then it's not like you have to just wait for it to fill back up. as you attack enemies and do damage, it fills it up that much quicker. So like if you're fighting a boss and you do like Donnie's special move, he goes, and then you go right into hitting Leatherhead, like pop, 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 pop. It'll fill right back up, and then you can hit triangle again. It's really fun. I would recommend anybody that actually has Apple Arcade. At this point, I don't even know why I have it, but now I'm glad I do.
So this is what I was thinking of. He gets health
really cool.
back on every encounter, but it doesn't change his max health. So I don't know why.
I might have just looked at it wrong.
Maybe.
But I really what do you think about Splintered Fate?
I love it. I mean, it's. I wish I could play it on my PlayStation. It's just one of those things I'd rather, I kind of wish there was a platinum I could go for. And even if it was the exact same game on the PlayStation versus the iPad, I can still play it with the same controller.
Grimoire was 2 years ago.
It just feels like I would just enjoy it so much more if it was on the PlayStation. I think it would change the experience. It would feel like more of a legit game.
It's got kind of
but it's still pretty fun. Exactly.
Just because it's Apple Arcade, but that's not fair to it. I also think if they did put it on console, I feel like they would up-res it. There would be little... The turtles actually seem like they're the worst looking part in this. Like Leatherhead, I've only fought him as a boss and the mini bosses before you get there.
Yeah.
He looked really good, really high quality and everything. The turtles, it's like they're a little blurry or something. I don't know.
I got to the second boss and got smoked. Like, smoked. Took like maybe 20% of its health away, and then I was dead.
This game is kind of hard. I go through this so far, and I'm like, how the hell did I ever even clear one run of Hades?
Yeah.
Like I know how I did it. I did the bow and arrow, and I got the 3-shot or whatever the best upgrade was for that from the very beginning, and I just murked people from far away, just pop, 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 pop. But so I've been Leo, Donnie, and Raph. I like Raph. The way he uses his size, it's almost like he's got claws, He's like... I haven't been Mikey yet.
Does he have like short range? No, I've only done Leo and Donnie.
He's got... It's short range, but it seems like when he does the swipe, it's like red things go out here. So it seems like it hits further than it does. I've noticed a few times too, because usually when I'm attacking somebody, after I'm done killing somebody, I just automatically dodge towards wherever the next guy is. But it seems like sometimes when I didn't do that, it does kind of have an Arkham thing where it just like you keep attacking and it kind of just goes, okay, now let's go over here and kind of like you teleport over there. But yeah, it's really fun. I really like this game and I'm so pleasantly surprised from it. For being an Apple Arcade game, it's more than I thought it would be. Anything else from you, Sean?
That's it.
That's what we've been playing this week. Sean. Not much to talk about this week, but do you want to get the news of the week?
Let's do it.
All right, so the one thing we didn't get to talk about last week because we recorded before it happened was the Xbox Showcase Extended or Extended Showcase. I'm not sure which it was. I forget. But again, I appear to be in the minority. I think most people are more along the lines of what you were saying, like that showcase, not that you were saying it was awesome, but at least they've got something.
Yeah, it was better than Sony's.
Sony, we know nothing except Wolverine. That's it. So this is what was covered at the Showcase Extended or the Extended Showcase. High on Life is getting DLC called High on Knife. The second thing to appear during this game show Extended Showcase was High on Knife from Squanch Games. High on Knife is DLC for the surprise 2022 Xbox Game Pass hit High on Life. Shouldn't on not be capitalized, even if it's the name of something?
It seems like it shouldn't be. Also, is it really a hit? I feel like this game came and went real quick.
And also, this is the thing with Game Pass. It's like, if this wasn't on Game Pass, no one would have called it a hit. Nobody would have bought it. Its reveal trailer plays like one for a horror game, and an Xbox Wire post teases that players should expect a story set 2 years after the events of the game, as well as new weapons. High on Life is available through Game Pass. It looks like a purchase will be required to play High on Knife when it releases later this year. That's at least smart. If you're going to do Game Pass, you shouldn't also give away the DLC for free.
Right.
They need all the money coming in that they can. Next up, there was this thing called The First Descendant is getting a cross-play beta this August. This is coming from Nexon, who debuted Series X gameplay of its free-to-play co-op sci-fi shooter, The First Descendant. It highlighted combat, character customization, and improvements made since the PC-only beta last year. At the end, Nexon also confirmed that a cross-play beta, which will be available on Series X. They're only saying Series X. I assume they mean S also.
Probably.
Will take place between August 22nd and 28th. The full game is planned to release before the end of the year. Oh, and this comes from Digital Trends, by the way, because they just had a much shorter write-up than IGN did. They actually interviewed the developers of The First Descendant last year, so check out that interview if you want more information on the game. Now, here's what I would call a surprise hit. Hi-Fi Rush.
Yeah.
That qualifies as a hit. As a nice surprise during this game showcase extended, Tango Gameworks revealed a media update for its critically acclaimed rhythm action game Hi-Fi Rush. It'll add 2 new modes players can access after they beat the game. The first is BPM Rush Mode, which is a wave-based combat mode where things get a bit faster after each wave, up to 200 beats per minute. What? I can't click that fast. I can't even think that fast.
I mean, it's not that fast. It's like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, but you're not just hitting one button.
Well, true.
And Power Up Tower Up is another tower mode that initially removes Chai's powers and then lets players upgrade or debuff Chai between levels. There's also a new photo mode and character customization options added. Titled Hi-Fi Rush, the Arcade Challenge, this update is coming on July 5th alongside a new custom pack. Good for Tango Gameworks. Good for them. This game...
Is this free?
I think so.
Because they're not calling it a DLC. It's just an update.
But this is first party, right? Tango game. Yeah, this is first party. This is part of Bethesda. This is one of those games that without Game Pass, I will say, as much as I think Game Pass has a lot of bad things about it, this game probably never would have even been made if not for Game Pass. If they don't have Microsoft's money behind them and they can be like, look, this is a cool, smaller title. Let's let them make it. And it turns out to be a big hit. It's awesome. Then they cover another Crab's Treasure, and more ID at Xbox games are coming to Game Pass. During the show, Xbox highlighted 10 neat-looking indie games that will be coming to Game Pass when they release. The most notable is another Crab's Treasure, which is that Souls-like starring a crab that went viral after it debuted at a Nintendo Indie World presentation last year. Now I do remember this. We actually went hands-on with the game at Summer Game Fest play days. So check out our another Crabs to blah, 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 blah. To expect what you might expect from this title. Dash Block. Tectonica, Sea of Stars, Harold Halibut, Galacticare, Neon White. That's cool. Miniko's Night Market, The Bookwalker, The Wandering Village, and Little Kitty Big City. We're also confirmed to be coming to Game Pass at release. Did we know that about Sea of Stars? I can't remember if we did.
I didn't know that, but maybe everybody else did.
You should buy an Xbox just so you can play it on Game Pass instead of having to buy it on PlayStation.
Makes sense.
Yeah. And then there was a bunch of other stuff as they go through here in bullet points. CD Projekt Red walked viewers through the black market in Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty. This, again, continues to look awesome. I'm going to end up playing this game. I just don't know when. The developer also confirmed an overhauled police system, the addition of the air dash ability. And it does seem like whenever I play this game, it's going to be good that I waited.
Probably. Yeah.
Especially like the overhauled police system. Remember, that was one of the things. Not only did the game not run, but you'd be like sitting in your apartment and a police officer would just go, he would just appear and you're like, what the frick was that? and you just get shot and you die. They also interviewed Keanu Reeves about Johnny Silverhand's role in the expansion, the new area players are able to explore, and some of the characters that will appear during Phantom Liberty. I really want to play this game. I just need some downtime, which I don't know if that'll ever happen. The Lamplighters League. I don't know what it is, but it's coming out October 3rd. So yeah. Then the avowed game director Carrie Patel broke down the trailer that played at the Xbox Game Showcase. She revealed more about the game's premise, characters, and combat. She also compared the size of the game to Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2 and The Outer Worlds. This one's not for me, but it seems like a lot of people, like I said last week, were not happy with the way it looked and the way the gameplay looked. But it is what it is. Stoic Studio outlined what players can expect from Towerborn in a dev diary, and it teased a seasonal post-launch support for the game as well. Fallout 76 is getting Once in a Blue Moon update that was announced last year, and it will be released on June 20th. So this is separate from that thing that they showed at the actual showcase. We also saw... there you go. We also briefly saw gameplay footage from next year's Atlantic City expansion. I didn't think that was next year. I thought that was this year. That's weird.
Wait, what?
The Atlantic City thing that they showed at the Xbox showcase, they're saying that's next year's update, but I thought that was coming. I don't know. They went into details about Elder Scrolls Necrom expansion. Phasmophobia is coming to Series X in early access with cross-platform play this August. I don't know if that's going to end up coming to PlayStation, but I am not playing that game. I've seen so many people when it first came out.
I remember seeing people streaming it. And
yeah.
I'm like, seems kind of cool, but
terrifying though, apparently. Capcom detailed the PvE Savage Gauntlet and Exosuit variants players will encounter in Exoprimal. Why didn't you just make Dino Crisis? But no, we're going to get Cyborg, Ryu, and Guile in there. They highlighted diversity efforts. Okay. Microsoft Flight Simulator, Dune expansion. They showed how they made the Dune thing. It's coming. Was detailed in a segment starring Kinda Funny. Paris Lilly. He's not really kind of funny, is he?
yeah, he's on the Xbox thing, I think.
I thought that was... Oh, he's Vicious, whatever, 616, 696, whatever his name is. No? Who's that?
Oh, I can see him. What's his name?
Phasmophobia is coming to PS5 and PSVR too. Hell.
PSVR? Oh,
hell
crap.
no. Why did I buy this thing? I should get Phasmophobia and not be a little wuss. Anyways, it's coming November 3rd. Go Mecha Ball is coming out 2024. Lies of P's got another gameplay segment where the various weapons, bosses, and upgrade systems were detailed ahead of its release. So are you... I forget what you said about this. Are you a wait and see what the reviews say? Did you... Oh, you never checked out the demo.
I never did the demo. I'm a wait and see what the demos or what the reviews are like, and also wait and see when I'll have time to play it. I'm interested, but I'm not sold yet. If this is like a 90 plus Metacritic, I'll find time to play it.
Yeah,
but
it better be because I
heard nothing but good things about Mortal Shell.
Okay, thank you, John.
Which was like a...
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's a Soulsborne game, but not FromSoft. And it was on PS Plus sometime in the last year, maybe, and I got it, and I was real excited. And I played for like 20 minutes. I'm like, this is not...
Wasn't it
I'm going to stick to...
was like a shooter or something?
No, it was very much a Soulsborne. But I just didn't get into it. I'm just like, this should be the same as any other one, but I'm like, there's something about it that just wasn't clicking. I'm like, this is not FromSoft. Yeah. So that's why I'm kind of a little hesitant on this, but I'm intrigued for sure.
I think that's what all these games have to get, the hurdle they have to get over if they're not made by From.
Yeah.
Senua's Saga Hellblade 2 trailer got a behind-the-scenes video showing the motion capture process for it in the game. Why don't you actually show the game? I will never understand. This game was announced in 2019.
I don't know. What is that? What?
They showed how they did motion capture.
For it and the rest of the game? What is it?
The trailer that they showed at the showcase. Yeah.
Okay.
Like, okay, it's a girl wearing balls on her face. Like, I mean, that's how they did who cares? Like, show the stupid game. This game was announced 4 years ago and you have not shown a second of gameplay. Like, I don't get it. I don't know what they're doing with it. Matt Booty teased that there are 24 games for Xbox that we don't yet know about.
That many?
Huh? Oh, that's funny, Sean. There are 2,024 Xbox games we don't know about. Wow, I don't think they've made that many in their history. Lightyear Frontier's multiplayer features highlighted, blah, 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 blah. And then Xbox played 33 Immortals with its developers at Thunder Lotus and interviewed them. Again, that is that 33-player co-op freaking game.
I'm good.
Any thoughts on the extended showcase, Schwan?
Yeah.
Schwan, man. I think it's cool that they do this, but it's not... I mean, we know that like we're not the biggest Xbox people, but I still want to cover this stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm glad they do it. It doesn't really do anything for me.
John says that was him.
Yeah. Next up, I didn't copy and paste this article, and now I must find it. There it is. All right. This next one, this is how slow a news week it is. This is the last item on the news week, but this is one that is near and dear to my heart, and it's very interesting with what we've been talking about with Metal Gear and PS3 native playing and all that stuff. This comes from Video Games Chronicle. PS3 exclusive Metal Gear Solid 4 was once, quote, running beautifully on Xbox 360. The game's assistant producer says the number of discs was the main issue. At one point during its development, Metal Gear Solid 4 Guns of the Patriots was running beautifully and smoothly on Xbox 360. That's according to the game's assistant producer, Ryan Payton, who shares the revelation in Stephen L. Kent's book, The Ultimate History of Video Games Volume 2. In an interview for the book, Payton claims there was no exclusivity deal to ensure the game was only released on PS3, and that the decision instead came down to the choice of disc format used in Microsoft's console. Payton says that at one point, Konami set up a team dedicated to seeing if the game could be ported to the 360. Quote, "Despite how downtrodden my colleagues were with developing on the PS3, most of them were still hardcore Sony fans and were not in favor of spending resources on such a test. They believed Metal Gear Solid 4 would, bless you, would look and run terribly on Microsoft's older and inferior hardware. One fateful day, the Konami R&D team hosted a meeting where we got to see the fruits of their labor, Metal Gear Solid 4 running beautifully and smoothly on the Xbox 360, end quote. According to Payton, although the port was possible on a technical level, it wasn't practical on a physical level. Because PS3 games came on BD-ROM discs, which could hold up to 54 gigs of storage, and Xbox 360 games came on DVD-ROM discs, which could only hold up to 8.3 gigs. I thought DVDs weren't even that big. I thought maybe 5 gigs.
Yeah.
CDs were what, 750 or 700 or something?
7 something, yeah.
Which could only hold up to 8.3 gigabytes. Bringing Metal Gear Solid 4 to the Xbox 360 would have required putting the game on numerous discs, something that Konami wasn't willing to do. You got to think how much more expensive your manufacturing costs are if you got to put it on 4 or 5 discs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As opposed to 1. This was backed up at the time by Sony's Jack Tretton, who once stated, quote, "Metal Gear Solid 4 is not only exclusive on PS3, it's only possible on PS3, thanks in part to Blu-ray," end quote. Konami announced last month that a remake of Metal Gear Solid 3 titled Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater will release for PS5, Xbox Series, and PC. It will also be releasing the Metal Gear Solid Master Collection Series Volume 1, which will contain MGS 1 through 3, as well as the original Metal Gear and Metal Gear 2. Metal Gear Solid 4 has never been re-released on any other format, meaning it remains a PS3 exclusive to this day. It remains to be seen if Volume 2 of the Metal Gear Solid Master Collection will contain a port of this game. That right there is why I wanted to read this. If they can get that damn game, and also if they could get it running on a 360, why the emulation thing of PS3 games is just so maddening to me. Doesn't that tell you that they can put this on the Master Collection Volume 2 and do Peace Walker and 4 and Acid 2 and Rising, like, right?
And Portable Ops, I'd like to play it. I wouldn't really. You don't have the Fulton. You got to you knock people out, and you still got to recruit people, but you knock them out, and then you got to drag them back to a truck and throw them in it. And I'm like, Kojima did not make that game. But what do you think about first off, the fact that it wasn't technically a PS3 exclusive? That boggles my mind.
Because I had never heard that. I thought for sure, I guess it was just assumed because it only came out on PS3 that it wasn't exclusive. And up until that point, all the Metal Gear games had only come out on PlayStations, except for Twin Snakes.
Yeah.
But do you think they're going to do it? Do you think they're finally going to get this stupid game playable?
I think so.
A game that I don't even really like. But you bet your ass if it's in Volume 2, I'm buying it no matter what's in it. Well, unless it's just Acid. But I'll buy it just to play Rising Revengeance. Rising Revengeance, because I've never, like I said many times, I've only played the demo of that. But what do you think about the whole thing? Metal Gear Solid 4 actually was running on the 360.
I think they will figure it out eventually. It'll be on a collection. I don't know that I'll get it. Even if I got it, it wouldn't be for 4. But I don't know. I have no need to ever play that game again.
Are you going to get the first collection? Metal Gear 1 through 3. For me, I'm going to get it, but
I don't think so. Unless they revamp the controls and stuff.
What if you can get a platinum in 1, 2, and 3?
I can't play those games.
Yes, you can.
No, they're terrible. If they revamp the controls If they do a
They're not going to.
Vice or GTA
Definitive.
collection type thing where they fix the controls a little bit, maybe, but I can't play them.
Those games still are almost unplayable. No, they won't. But my thing is, we still don't know which versions. If that Master Collection, if it's not Metal Gear Solid 3 Subsistence, if it doesn't have the free camera, that's going to piss me off.
Also, in that game, isn't it something where like you can kind of push, I don't know,
Yes.
square to pull your gun out and then you push it the rest of the way to shoot?
Or circle, whichever it is.
I don't think I've ever seen another game.
No.
I didn't even know those buttons were like pressure sensitive.
Also,
I thought it's either on or off. You push it or you don't. Not like, yeah, kind of pushing it, and then no, I'm really pushing it. Like,
yeah, now you're pushing. That's a good point. I didn't even think of that because the DualShock 4 and the DualSense are not pressure sensitive.
oh, okay, so that was just a 3 thing.
Yeah.
Or 2. 2, I guess.
2 and 3.
Yeah.
Because the HD collection controlled the same way. On
Oh,
PS3.
okay.
That's interesting. Maybe they will fix the controls a little bit. But it
If
is
they do,
canonical,
I would
so-
definitely consider it, especially if it's 3 platinums.
But I mean, I assume
But
it'll
I don't
be.
want to go killing a bunch of frogs and stuff.
You don't kill them, and they're not frogs.
What are they?
They're dolls. They're frog dolls. They go. Wah, 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 wah. I still never went back and got the platinum on my Vita. I need to do that. Wah, 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 wah. So yeah, I can't wait to see if this comes on Volume 2. I assume it will. Now, Sean, it's time for the wrap up. Embracer Group is closing studios and canceling some game projects. Now, for some for some 30,000 foot view stuff. Embracer Group has around 17,000 employees with 12 operating groups, compromising 138 video game internal studios. What?
Not compromising.
Composing.
Or comprising.
That's the word. Compromising. I was like, why is he smiling at me? And they own over 850 IPs. Their share price dropped 40% last month after a $2 billion unannounced and unnamed partnership fell through. Not unannounced, just unnamed. It was announced. That's why the share price dropped. This is crazy because that's one thing Colin's been saying forever is like, how are they doing this? How are they operating? They just keep buying everything. And now they're saying like, we really need to just, they said a horrible word. What was it?
Compromising?
No, we need to, they're basically saying we need to pimp the Lord of the Rings as much as we can. And they're going to do that, I guess.
Oh, yeah, I remember seeing that.
Final Fantasy 16 is adding Final Fantasy mode after you beat the game. So what this is, you get New Game Plus, but you also get this harder difficulty called Final Fantasy mode, which has a harder difficulty and higher enemy levels. It raises your level cap to 100. I don't know what the level cap is. If it's 80, 90, 75, I don't know. But it raises it to 100.
Yeah.
You can craft the Ultima weapon. What is that? Is that in every game?
Every game, well, I'm pretty sure every character
Exploit.
in
Thank
every game has an ultimate weapon. Now, Cloud's ultimate weapon was called the Ultima weapon.
Oh.
So I don't know if they're literally saying that or if they're really meaning... I mean, yeah, I guess you only have one guy to get a weapon for.
Right.
So maybe his ultimate weapon is called the Ultima weapon? I don't know.
You will carry over your level, your possessions, and abilities.
Now, do you know... Can you do New Game Plus on the harder difficulty? Or it's like, if you're going to do harder difficulty, it's just New Game. You can't
No,
do
it's
the
New
harder...
Game Plus. From what I read, it's New
Okay.
Game Plus. But you get a gold trophy for beating it, which means you cannot get the platinum without beating this extra hard-ass mode. I'm not getting the platinum. I'm just going to enjoy the hell out of this game. So no, it will not be my 100th platinum.
But if it's anything like Bloodborne or any Soulsborne game,
Well,
when
I
you
mean,
do
my God,
when
I
you
did
do
Elden
New
Ring.
Game Plus,
Yeah.
you're just wrecking fools.
But again, but harder
assuming you
enemies.
get, pretty much maxed out in New Game
before you beat it.
Yeah. And granted, New Game or the harder difficulty, Final Fantasy mode, whatever, may be
Exploit
crazy
Lord of the Rings,
difficult.
yep.
But so far, this game does not seem very difficult. Now, maybe it's
True.
a demo. They're, who knows? But I'm definitely going to go for it.
I didn't watch it, but I saw Maximilian put up a video on YouTube because he got to play a preview or something at Game Fest, And he said he got wrecked by this one boss in Final Fantasy 16. I was like, I'm not clicking it. I don't want to see it. But apparently it does get harder than what we played in the demo, because the demo was pretty easy. Final Fantasy 16, as I think I might have said earlier, is getting a day one patch after all to address performance issues and various issue fixes. Again, the only thing I didn't like about it was the performance had some issues.
I hope to God this has a mini-map. It has to. Like,
I kept getting lost. I did have to click L3 to be like, I don't know where I came from or where I'm going.
I wish you could just click it.
Yeah.
I don't know, you have to click and hold and wait for it to... I mean, it takes like a half a second, but like, just click. Go that way. Okay, done.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know why there would not be a mini-map, but I also don't know why there would be a mini-map and they don't put it in the demo. So I'm a little concerned, but...
Yep, I don't know. Hideo Kojima will be deeply involved in the Death Stranding movie, but he's not directing it. Honestly, I forgot they even said this is going to be a thing.
I didn't know that.
The game is a movie is what you haters are going to say, so yeah. The Illumination boss says he does not know where all the Zelda movie rumors and reports came from.
I mean, of course he's going to say that.
Right.
Even if it was true, he would say that.
But
I also don't believe it. I don't believe the rumors. I'm not saying I don't believe this guy. I don't believe the rumors.
Illumination should not make a Zelda movie. Somebody can make an awesome Zelda movie. Whoever did the Castlevania series, oh my God, when's the new one coming out? It's got to be this year.
Oh.
Because that ended like 2 years ago. I think that was 21. I need to watch that.
It was, yeah.
But you know what? Illumination does Gru and the minions and stuff. This is not who you... It made sense for Mario. Does not make sense for Zelda. I'm not saying it wouldn't look beautiful, but I don't think that their movie-making prowess is best served with a Zelda game. And you know if they do it, they're going to say, excuse me. He's going to say it.
Probably.
If Illumination makes that Zelda movie. Microsoft has confirmed, finally, that there will be no more first-party games coming to the Xbone. Good for them. We got to move on. Microsoft has signed a deal with Outriders developers. People Can Fly for an Xbox exclusive that's codenamed Project Maverick. I'm going to assume it's not a Top Gun game. The budget is $30 to $50 million. If it was a Top Gun game, the budget would be much more.
Yeah. Maybe it's a card-playing Western game.
I need to go back and watch that again. I want to watch Tin Cup again, too. I don't know why. Just because I was watching golf all day yesterday for Father's Day, I was like, I miss Tin Cup. That movie was so good. Microsoft has said that they are not planning to shut down Arcane Austin even after Redfall flop. Instead, they're saying they should have done a better job supporting the studio. That's your job. Yes, you should have done that. PlayStation Mobile boss Nicola Sebastiani is leaving less than 2 years after joining the company. So I don't know if this whole Sony mobile thing's really going to get off the ground.
Yeah.
I don't want it to, so hopefully they just scrap it. And, I mean, we already got to deal with games as a service, so taking mobile out of there is a good thing. To no one's surprise, Metaphor ReFantasio has also been confirmed to be coming to PlayStation and Steam, as well as Persona 3 Reload and Persona 5 Tactica. This is a stupid thing that I didn't even realize was a thing. Microsoft signs embargo things with games that show up in their showcase so that the developers and publishers cannot say for a certain amount of days that, yes, it's coming to PC and PlayStation and Switch, to make it seem like they're Xbox exclusives. That's dirty. And also, you got to think back. Remember the PlayStation Showcase, and then Xbox was like their little cheeky.
Yeah.
tweet.
All these games are also available.
Games. PlayStation could have been like, "Oh, well, look what's coming to ours too," but they didn't do that.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's stupid. Also, it looks like Square Enix has leaked their own Star Ocean Second Story remake. I feel like I know what Star Ocean is. It's an RPG, but I don't know if it's an action RPG, or did you ever play it?
I played one on PS2. I think it was Till the End of Time, maybe, and I loved it. But I have not played any since.
Okay.
But I would always
Was it turn-based?
It was at the
remember?
time.
Okay.
Well, maybe it wasn't. I remember there was some kind of like combo system, like if you hit so many times without getting hit yourself, like you do more damage. Or actually, yeah, I don't think it was turn-based. Doesn't mean you would like it, but I don't think it was turn-based now that I think about it.
Interesting. And the PS Plus extra and premium games were announced for June. And I do have to say, this is pretty damn good. So, PS Plus, Far Cry 6, TMNT Shredder's Revenge, Rogue Legacy 2. Now,
I'm going to check that out.
That has not been on PlayStation yet. It was just on Xbox or Switch, or I think just Switch, whatever. Day and date, I'm like, okay.
I want to check that out.
Yeah, I've heard nothing but awesome things about the first game and the second game, so I'm definitely going to check that out. Inscription's supposed to be really good. Solstice, Tacoma. Did you ever buy that? It's an easy platinum. It's 2-hour platinum.
Really?
And you can tell me if you think it sucks as much as I did. But I mean, it's free. It's a free.
Isn't
platinum.
it the
Gone Home?
Yeah, Gone Home.
Deus Ex: Mankind Divided, Killing Floor 2. Some other games also not as big, but Lonely Mountains Downhill, Vampire the Masquerade, Coteries of New York, 100 Days Winemaking Sim, A Hat in Time. That's supposed to be good. I don't know why I did that with my mouth.
A Hat in Time.
That's supposed to be like a really good 3D platformer that's like a throwback to Mario 64, except if it controlled well.
Oh. Okay.
Carto, I've heard of that. I feel like that's a Zelda kind of a game, but I could be wrong. Why is someone on my hotspot? Who is on my hotspot? We're at home at Wi-Fi. Why is my hotspot? Forager, Dodgeball Academia, which I think is a dodgeball RPG. I could be wrong, but it sounds amazing. Wild at Heart, Red Out 2, Thief, My Friend Peppa Pig. Go get the platinum. Did you see there's a new one? Did you get it yet?
Oh, I don't know it was out yet.
Oh, yeah, I guess I don't know if it's out yet either. The Talos Principle and Coded Soul. The premium games are going to be Killzone Liberation from PSP, Worms from PS1, and Hertz Adventures. I don't know what this game is, but I definitely remember the box art in the bottom right. Or maybe it just looks like Chuck Rock in the Stone Age or whatever that game was called. So, yeah. And that's it for this episode of the Two Player Co-op Podcast. Thank you all so much for being here. Even when there's not a lot to talk about, we appreciate you hanging out with us. Next week, we'll be back with our thoughts on Final Fantasy 16. I cannot freaking wait. I wonder if... I don't think I'll put as many hours into it as I did Zelda, just because it's not... Zelda you could just play forever. Like, it just doesn't end.
This, I don't think... I won't be having, like, 3, 4, 5 hour long sessions.
Right.
This is gonna be like a couple hours, take a break, maybe a couple more hours. But
I'm anticipating, depending on how long it is, to just beat the main game. 40 to 50 hours is what I would guess. Kind of like God of War, but that was for the God of War Platinum. But yeah.
I would think if you just mainlined it, I was thinking 30 to 40.
Yeah.
But probably like 70, 80 for the Platinum.
But I don't want to grind forever, but I also don't want to just put it on easy or story or whatever they call it. I don't know. And I did play through the whole demo on not easy. So I was proud of myself for that, but it was pretty easy. Anyways, that's it for this episode. We'll be back with Final Fantasy 16 next week. Sean, until that time, go ahead and take us out.
Thank you for playing.